Man, someone that isn't thriving right now though, is your boy, the baby.
Oh man.
He is under fire right now for his comments at Rolling Loud in Miami. Yeah, they trying to get him up out of here, man. They trying to cancel his ass.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, bro.
But what he said, if you've been living under a rock, he was at Rolling Loud, and that part of the show, you know, where rappers talk they shit just to get the crowd hype and engaged. He said some offensive stuff. He said, what did he say? He said, if you don't have a disease, an STD, where you're gonna die in the next 2-3 weeks, like AIDS, make some noise. That's what which makes no sense, right? Then he went on to say, if you wasn't sucking no D in the parking lot before you got in here, make some noise, which is random. He said, ladies, if your pussy smell like water, make some noise. Blah 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 blah. He went on to, so of course the internet's picked it up and said, this guy's toxic. This guy's offending the LGBTQ community. We got to get him out of here.
Bruh.
So what are your thoughts, man?
Why? Bro, it's hip hop. At the end of the day, yeah, it's a show. He's saying what he want to say, but you should be able to say what you want in music. Like, it's entertainment. You know, like, and the fact that anybody can just come in.
Freedom of speech?
Yeah, and anybody could just come in and be like, I'm offended. We need to cancel you. Like, bro, that shit is whack.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't. Cancel, no. Like, people are going to stop listening to Baby because LGBTQ is offended. Like, okay, LGBTQ, don't listen to him.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're offended by him, y'all cancel him.
Yeah.
But you're not trying to get everybody to cancel him. Like,
right.
Yeah, that was some weird shit he said. Like, he didn't have to say it, but
right.
That causes to be canceled.
Right.
So, like, can the straight community cancel people now? Can we cancel Lil Nas X because he did that weird shit in the damn video with the devil? He had a lap dance by the devil. Can we cancel him? Straight community, let's cancel Lil Nas X. He on some weird shit.
Well, I think,
you know what I mean. Like, it's stupid.
I don't think it's only the LGBTQ community trying to cancel. I think people just in general are trying to cancel him first.
Like who?
Madonna.
She's probably with that.
I'm saying there's people that are not LGBTQ that just feel like his what he said was offensive, that are trying to cancel him. You know what I'm saying?
But hip hop is offensive.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's like Madonna, you're not in hip hop.
Right.
Elton John, you're not in hip hop. Did you not see the verses?
Right.
That wasn't disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is stupid.
Right.
Let these people that are not in hip hop try to come into hip hop and tell us who we should cancel.
Right.
No, hip hop should need to tell hip hop who we should cancel. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is whack.
So I think what he said, first of all, when I heard it, my friend came. I already heard it, but he's like, "Yo, the baby's up out of here." And at first, I'm like, "Bro, what he said was stupid. Like, what he said was stupid, made no sense, was random." But I think he'd be all right. It's like not that deep, not that serious. Like, he'll bounce back. I think for me, the main frustration was just like, bro, here we go again, like trying to cancel somebody. Like, how many times are we gonna try to cancel somebody for some shit they said? Like, some people, granted, should be canceled, like child molesters, rapists, murderers, rapists. Yeah, let's get them the fuck out of here. Let's cancel them and throw them in jail. Bro, he said some shit in the heat of the moment on a stage. Let's talk about it. Let's maybe, let him know why what he said was offensive and just, yeah. But this whole trying to cancel people, I think, speaks to something, bigger in our society. But so I told my friend, I'm like, yo, he'll be all right. But he issued an apology video,
which took a while. He wasn't apologizing at first. He was doubling down at first.
So that's what I'm talking about. The double down video, which was meant to be an apology video, where he was just looked like he was on his bed, had the camera. He wasn't taking it real serious, and he started saying, "Well, man, I wasn't talking about those gays. I was talking about not my fans and not the nasty gay." Like, I'm like, bro,
He made it worse. He made it worse.
And then I'm like,
He made it worse.
All right, they about to get him out. I'm like, bro, you made it worse. All he had to do was say, yo, my bad. I was in the heat of the moment. I was just talking my shit. That's what rappers do when they performing. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I wasn't even targeting it. Because really what he said, the whole AIDS thing was stupid. Didn't even make sense. The whole sucking the D, I mean, in my opinion, that's not necessarily targeted towards LGBTQ. That could have been talking about ladies, like that. I didn't take that as an attack on them, because he could have been talking about women or men, right? So he could have just been, yo, I wasn't even misunderstanding. I apologize. Let's keep it pushing.
Right, he could have just been on, talking about people with STDs,
yeah,
and then left it at that.
Stupid,
but people want to correlate that with LGBTQ, whatever.
I would have just been like, yo, my bad, stupid, my bad.
Yep.
And people would have had to just moved on and forgot about it, and they would have been canceling someone else the next week. I think what put the nail in the coffin was that second video, bro. That second video showed that, you meant to say that. This is how you really think. This is how you feel. You're an idiot. We getting you up out of here. So I think, he fucked up with that second video. He was kind of doubling down. And then maybe a week and a half later, we saw the actual from his publicist, the professional.
Yeah, he had to get vetted real quick. Like, come on,
apology.
Bro. You're messing up your brand right now.
Yeah, like, you getting canceled from shows. All right, now we got to issue a real sincere, because obviously he wasn't sincere. Anyone could see through that apology. It was, but at that point it was too late, man. It was too late. So in my opinion, I think what frustrates me, and I think why the baby could make it about this, is because I think we're getting to a point now where we see that cancel culture is going too far, man. And I think what I'm seeing from it, it's showing a very ugly side of human beings, and I think people want to cancel artists and corporate because they just want to feel like they're in power and they have control over other people's lives and destiny, especially people that are making millions of dollars and are doing well. I think it's just an excuse to be like, all right, all those millions you're making, we're putting it into that. All that success that you're seeing and flaunting in front of us and showing us, we're putting a stop to that. The people are in control. And I think, and you have these people on the internet that are just negative and just want to see people do bad. And then you also have people that don't really care about certain issues. They just want to chime in and they just want to have something to say.
Say shit just to say it.
And I think that I'm sick of that shit. Where it's like, bro, let him know. Like, I think I seen Miley Cyrus speak out and say, yo, this is why what you said is offensive to this specific community. But, let's get together. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation so we can educate you. We don't necessarily have to cancel you. But yeah, it's good to like kind of just give you some feedback and insight from our perspective.
And that's fine and dandy right there.
Yeah.
Little education. Little apology. On to the next.
Let's keep it moving. To say, all right, now your career that you've worked so hard to build, you're killing the radio, you're on a bunch of songs. Now we need to get that out of here. Now you're going to get canceled from all these shows. Now essentially we want you to lose everything and be on the street. Your family loses everything. The people that work for you loses everything over some comments. And I get the comments were fucking stupid. The comments were fucking stupid. But people make mistakes, bro. People say stupid shit all the time. People literally say stupid shit all the time. That doesn't mean you should be canceled for it. I think you should apologize. I think you should be educated. But I don't think you should.
Yeah, you just treat it like anything else. Like you make a misstep, you correct it and move on. Like the whole cancel culture is toxic. I feel like
I think it's
very toxic, and
I think it's needed in certain situations, very severe.
Well, yeah,
certain
yeah, we should have canceled R. Kelly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should have canceled Bill Cosby,
right.
even though he just got out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, you know, like it's necessary in certain instances. But like, yo, the baby, he was just talking.
And you could tell he was just talking. He was literally just talking out his ass.
Yeah.
He didn't know what the fuck he was saying. He didn't really mean what he was saying. I don't think there was any real malicious intent behind it. He was just talking. And again, if you just gonna talk, you should still be held accountable to what you talking about. But should you be canceled? Nah. I think I'm just more upset with. I think it's just become a trend and a thing people do whenever someone makes a mistake. And I think there's a community on the internet that wait for people to make mistakes so they could be like, all right, pack your shit up, you out of here. And it's just whack.
Yeah, cancel culture's toxic. I'm just through with it. Somebody gonna be canceled tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
it's just a matter of time. But like I said, like, I don't have a problem with your sexual preference at all. You do what you do in your bedroom. But the fact that the letters community can just come out and just decide, you know, we're gonna cancel you, we're gonna put you out there, like, yo, like, if that's how it works, then the other communities can do the same thing about the stuff that y'all putting out. You know what I mean? And not to be against anybody specifically, any entity or group, but it's getting a little overboard. It's just a little overboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can cancel the baby. Well, a lot of people want Lil Nas X canceled, but we letting them live. You know, the people who gonna listen and watch him, hey, do y'all thing. I'm not a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit there, oh, he needs to be canceled. I wouldn't advise people to listen and watch that music, especially if you're around children. But
and that's the thing.
It is what it is.
And that's the thing right there. It's like we live in a world with the internet and with YouTube and social media where it's like certain people, artists, personalities, what have you, they're gonna have their little community, they're gonna have their audience. Bro, let those people live. As long as they're not really hurting anyone and taking it too far, let them have their little community in the corner of the internet and let other people have their community in the corner of the internet. If you want to correct a behavior and have those conversations, that's cool too. But to say, yo, we need you erased from the face of the internet,
it's doing too much.
We doing a little too much at that point. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really whack when these corporations come in and get behind artists, knowing, especially rappers, knowing they're rappers and they say wild shit and they do wild shit, and their whole brand is just wild on some wild shit. And then as soon as they say something where the mainstream media or the public go against them, they're just like, all right, we got it.
Disposable.
You know what I mean? And they did that in the verses too. I think when I heard when Jim Jones started talking about I'm a Blood, I'm a 9 Trey, all that gangster shit, a few of the sponsors on the verses backed out. But it's like, bro, this is a verses with the Locks and Dipset. What the fuck did you expect?
Right.
They gangsters. Like, so I think that's whack too when like festivals start, you know, saying, all right, you're not. It's like, bro, have some morals and some ethics.
Oh,
because if the public wasn't canceling the baby, he would still perform.
Right.
You just doing it because the public is going against him. So it's like, bro, have a backbone. Just stand with the artist. Like, and I get it. Like, if an artist is a certain artist and they just say some left field shit, then whoa, that's not what we signed up for. Yeah, we gonna have to pull you. But it's the fucking baby. Like, he says wild shit. He does wild shit. You know what I mean? Rappers say and do wild shit.
And that's the thing. Like, these corporations, they'll put anybody on the ticker that's popping, but they're not really in touch with the culture. They're not in tune with the artist. Like, exactly. Yo, did you not know who you were putting as the headliner?
Right.
Have you heard his album?
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with Dipset, have you not heard his songs before?
Yeah.
Have you not heard their albums?
Right.
So why are you now like, oh, we can't touch that?
Right.
Everybody knew that's what it was.
Right.
So it's like the fact that these corporations have that power, and the power's not in hip hop's hands. Right. It's not in the artist's hands. It's whack.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's whack.
And I heard, I guess we can go down this rabbit hole in this conversation, but I heard people bring up and say, is it not, how come we don't, why is it okay, and I don't know how I feel about this, but why is it okay, is it, what, time?
Keep on.
Why is it okay for, black men to speak about killing black men or whatever, the violence against black men, or even the violence against black women or the disrespect of black women? Why is that okay? But then as soon as, you know, there's something said about any other community, right? The Asian community, the Jewish community, the LGBTQ community, now there's an uproar and we're looking to cancel this said artist. So I don't know how I feel about that, because it's almost like it could just be like, yo, but it's they could argue, well, it's y'all talking about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, we're staying out of y'all business. If that's what you want to do, if that's your culture, do your thing. But if it bleeds over into our community, then we're gonna speak up and say about it, which is understandable. So I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if that's a valid argument or not, but there is, I say, some level of validity to it. What do you think about that?
I think it all has to do with who owns the company you work for. At the end of the day, you know,
But I think just the public opinion, perception, and because no one bats an eye when we hear nigga this killed nigga, no one bats an eye. But again, when the baby says some shit that comes across homophobic or whatever, now there's an uproar.
Okay, so let's say if, hypothetically, if Jay-Z made those comments, would they cancel Jay-Z? Could they cancel Jay-Z?
And that's the thing about canceling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think they would use the terminology cancel, because I don't think you can cancel Jay-Z at this point, but there would be an uproar and backlash.
They would stain him. They would try to stain him.
There'd be an uproar and backlash.
But you couldn't cancel him.
Because he's already certified. He's already minted. The baby's still up and coming. His career is still progressing. Where, yeah, you can cancel the baby. Jay-Z, you can't cancel.
And that's my point. What if somebody like Jay-Z decided he drew a hard line and said this, and this that did offend these people, but he's speaking to us, and you can't cancel him?
I think he would lose business deals for sure.
But he's Jay-Z.
Yeah, but I think that would,
somebody's gonna do business with Jay-Z.
Yeah, I think he would. I think that would still affect his career, though. But I'm saying
it would have an effect. But the point is you affected me. You put a stain on me, but you can't stop me.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is,
like, they would have to do like some Michael Jackson type of like major like event to get Jay-Z canceled.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is there a conversation to be had for, there, you know, again, no one says anything when black people talking about killing black people and violence on black people. That's okay. That's promoted and that's pushed by the music industry, right?
Mm-hmm. Which black folks don't own.
But then, when again you're talking about another community outside of the black community, and it's perceived or it is offensive, now we have something to say about it. Is that does that make sense? Is that okay? Is that valid, or is that is that hypocritical? I don't know.
I don't know. We just probably don't have like a. We just don't have like a upper. How could I explain that? Say if hip hop is what hip hop is, do black people as a culture, hip hop as a culture, have like a upper management, so to speak, to be like, hey, we get it. It's the culture, wooty wooty woo. But look how we look. Let's move this way instead. I don't think hip hop has upper management. I think our upper management is these other cultures. But we don't have upper management. We just kind of do what we do, and once we step out of bounds, these people from these other cultures who own these companies, then they slap us on the wrist. But we as a culture and as hip hop don't have upper management to kind of guide us and navigate that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think if we did, then like we wouldn't have little stupid shit like DaBaby. Like and him, he probably would never said that if somebody was like, all right, like, you know, apologize real quick, but just understand, you know, you're gonna take a hit for this. You're gonna get stained on this one. You're not gonna get canceled. We're not gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
We're still gonna book the shows because we do business with them, and those people are part of the culture, you know what I mean? But it's like, because we're not in those levels of upper management when it comes to just the game of hip hop, that power is in somebody else's hands. Like, he gotta apologize. It's at his mercy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if like, say like KRS-One was like, he had his own thing, you know what I mean? And all these OGs, like, instead of like being left in the dirt and, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, these are the golden era of hip hop, but they still live in the hood type shit. But they were in these positions of power because they started it. You know what I mean? So they can kind of guide hip hop. Instead of just being like, getting on the internet on YouTube and trying to just say what they say and hopefully somebody hears it. You know, if they were in positions of power to kind of guide us and had, you know, relationships and deals with the radio, with whomever, with other companies that they probably owned or knew somebody that owned or they did business with back in the 70s and 80s, and it was just built up from there. You know what I mean? Like, Jay-Z started in the 90s, and he's the top of the top.
Right.
But realistically, in like the real world, the people who were doing it in the 70s and 80s should be at the top of the top. You know what I mean? It should just kind of be like a ladder of kind of like a full, like, everything should go full circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if something like that, some type of mechanism like that, where the OGs were involved and above, like, governing hip hop when it comes, and also protecting hip hop from these other groups and other corporations trying to profit off of hip hop, I think stuff like this wouldn't happen.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think hip hop is such a big genre now, though, where it's like it does bleed into other groups and genres or other areas of music, and you know, the audience is wide. But then again, you do have other groups controlling other parts of the industry, whether it be radio, whether it be, you know, venues and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, you got to be careful who you offend sometimes, and that's just within any industry or business, because you piss off the wrong people, then that's gonna cost you your career. That's anywhere.
That's the reality of it now.
That's the reality of life. So
it's just kind of like, you know, now like in sports, like we're starting to get, you know, the Michael Jordans, the Dwayne Wades, the Shaqs of the world that are starting to own or be minority and majority owners of teams.
Yeah.
So it's like now the ownership in the players, it's not like a hard line. Now that line is blurred because Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Shaq, they know what it's like to be a player, but now they're upper management. So now they can kind of guide the players in this industry of sports instead of like being at the mercy of these billionaires that just own it and they stay owner, player, owner, employee type of thing.
Yeah.
So if we had more of that in hip hop, I feel like that it would just be better off. So, but one day that's gonna happen.
One day, man. One day. But what you thinking? Is that a wrap? We cover everything?
I'm gonna think that's a wrap, brother.
That is a wrap on episode 14, Driving While Black. We just wanted to make this one a little more fun. Talk a little hip hop, you know, and shout out our billionaires, Kanye, Riri, all that good stuff. And the baby, man. Hopefully you make it back from this, man.
Yeah, man. Hopefully you recover,
Hopefully you recover, man. Let's get rid of this cancel culture. I ain't feeling it. I ain't liking it. Again, I do think he should be held accountable for what he said. It'll be cool to see him, get with some people and learn and educate, but I don't think he should be canceled for it.
Negative.
And,
He'll be alright.